Thank you all for tuning in. The following is a presentation of Bald Spots Productions. Be sure to like, comment, and share. Subscribe, follow, whatever it is you've got to do to kick that algorithm into gear and help us reach more people. Yes, it is I, your humble host, Bill Hatch the Third, coming to you live from the Palatial Studios of Bald Spots Productions here in the beautiful city of Malden, Missouri. Joining me from a more than acceptable safe social distance today is my guest, Neoborn Caveman. How you doing?
Hi there, it's an honor to meet you after that many months of arranging things, and finally we are meeting in the Star Trek universe, or maybe it's a parallel universe. I mean, imagine that, like when in the 60s and we had these video phones, in the movies, in all the spy movies, and now it's reality. So we already live in the future.
Yes, we are living in the future, but we don't have our flying cars yet.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's on Elon. I think that's on Elon.
Yeah, that's taking a little long, but that's okay. I'm sure we just have people crashing in the sky and falling out like
Are
that
you
anyway.
referring to Fifth Element when Bruce Willis was driving the cab and Lilu was just flying into that one? I mean, that's a good crash lab, yeah. Oh my God, how many
Yeah,
of us
that's
fell
true.
into love with her?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I know the life changed. We can't say anymore. She was not acceptable because she was different than non-white color. So she was. Yeah, all right. I know it's
Yeah,
too much. Yeah, we should be
liked
very
her
sensitive.
in the Resident Evil movies. She was good in the Resident Evil movies too.
Yeah, to
Those
be
were fun.
honest, I really don't like the horror movies. I just
Mm,
don't like them, and because I
okay.
feel that this is basically the human soul, the society without the body, just put out as the body was their soul. We are so much rotten these days, so this is a kind of a symbolism. But I watched one or two, the first and I think the sixth with her because of her. So I went to this, like, this moving chair cinema, and the dragon was coming out and the zombies were falling and she was there. And yeah, it was worth it to look at her.
Yeah. But well, actually, some of my favorite movies are technically horror movies, but the reason I like them is because they're so terrible. So,
Okay,
like,
tell me more. Which one?
well, like, Robot Monster is a good one. Black and most of them are in black and white, and
Oh, so we're going that territory. Like, okay,
that territory.
uh,
Yeah.
okay, so like
Um,
Metaluna 9 is not responding, or what was that
yeah.
title?
Let's see. Plan 9 from Outer Space. Any of the Ed Wood movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Forbidden
But
Planet was a masterpiece compared to them, yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
But
Speaking of,
yeah.
I watched the Kafka. I think it was the trial. I don't know, the Orson Welles movie the other day. It's black and
Okay.
white and so on. And it is a science fiction. It's a brutal horror movie. Just it's incredibly terrifying. And then I watched the other version of what the BBC made with Kyle MacLachlan in the late 90s, late 1989, sorry. And then it grabs with. So sometimes the good horror movies are where you don't see the evil, but you put it there. Huh?
Okay. Yeah. Um, no, I haven't seen those, but yeah, I get it.
Yeah. Well,
So,
I don't know. It's just like, you know what? Okay, I have one for you. As a child, I loved it. Okay. It was, for me, it's
hmm,
still number one among these, The Blob.
The Blob. Yes, The
Yeah.
Blob
Steve
was a
McQueen. Yeah.
great movie. Yeah, the
Yeah.
Steve McQueen one. Because there have been a couple of Blob movies, but yeah, Steve
The Steve
McQueen's
McQueen version. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Well, Steve
Yeah.
McQueen's
For
done
me, I
some
didn't
great
know it was a
movies.
parody. I thought it was real. I mean, I
Yeah,
was a child.
no, yeah,
So it's like,
but
yeah. But
but still,
what about it's a later one, of course, with Donaldson with the Body Snatchers.
Yeah.
You understand? Yeah.
That one was full of symbolism, though. The invasion of the body snatchers
Yeah.
with it being about communism and the
Yeah.
McCarthyism and all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's like,
full of symbolism. Well, that's something with both horror movies and sci-fi that you can really do is get into deeper meanings with it. Um, like
exactly.
you can talk about what's going on in society. Like you mentioned Star Trek earlier. Well, in the original series, all the things about racism with the episode where they were black on one side and white on the other, and then the other one was black on the same on the one on the other side, black and white
Yeah.
on
And
the
the
other,
kiss,
and the kiss, yes, the
and
kiss
remember the famous
between
kiss when William
Shatner
Shatner.
and Nichols,
Yeah.
yeah, Michelle Nichols, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you
I
couldn't
mean,
do
it's,
that
it's,
on
I find it
you couldn't have done that
fascinating.
on Dick Van Dyke Show or something.
Well, yeah. Well, actually, Dick Van Dyke did a blackface in the Mary
Yeah.
Poppins because he was in the chimneys. I mean, but I just seen a photo about him. He's like almost like centennial, like 97 or
he's
98, and
yeah,
he's
he's getting
driving a fast car
close.
in Malibu. He's living the
Yeah.
life, and his wife is 48 years younger or something like that.
Wow. I didn't realize that. That's a good
Oh, yeah.
good show there, Dick.
Yeah, I was thinking the name, but so it's like, uh, but when I moved to Dallas, I just went to one of the stores, and I don't know, maybe I was living in another planet, but I just looked up from the car, and there was like dicks, and I was just laughing so hard. You know, it's
Yeah,
yeah.
that's a
Oh,
tough name to
we
live
never
with.
think of that. Yeah. So I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. We all know the literary charts, especially in the White House. But anyway, so yeah. Speaking of Star Trek and all these things, I like these when we somehow space out these problems and we can look at them better. But lately, even the Star Trek universe, they don't have good shows. They miss this point. So they have the action. They have maybe good CGI, maybe good acting, usually not. The scripts are very poor. And I would rather watch, you mentioned Ed Wood, I would rather watch a good storyline, an interesting idea,
Yeah.
than whatever festivities with all these latest, I don't know, FX cards or AI machines or whatsoever. Because I want to know myself and the world better. I want to reposition myself. Shouldn't movies be about that? So you go to a black box, literally, you forget the rest of the world, the problems. You go in, and and it's like a kind of meditation because usually you don't have the phone. If you are a good person, you don't have the phone on you or message on, and just you are there, and then you come out. Maybe it doesn't have to be a Pedro Almodovar movie or I don't know, but these things can change you for the better.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I don't know why they have. I mean, it's like Star Trek's become a cash grab. It's let's put out a
Oh
movie with
yeah,
all the
oh yeah,
CGI and we'll make the money. And
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
you know,
That's just
but
I think the first series like that, what was made basically in this, I don't know, that all green screen or all LED movies or whatever was the series on sci-fi. It was Sanctuary. It was that series Sanctuary, and if you it was made for 4 seasons, I guess, and after that, almost everything is like that because they proved fine tune. But before Sanctuary, there was the revival of the Battlestar Galactica, and that was more like a classical approach of the visuals. And come on, everything was in that series. Do you remember that one
Yeah,
with
the
Katie
original
Sackhoff?
Battlestar Galactica in
Yeah, I mean,
'79.
yeah, but the remake of that, the
Oh,
the
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 remake.
four
Oh,
or
yeah,
five.
yeah, the
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I actually didn't watch most of that one. I watched a few episodes, but it
it
just didn't grab
starts
my
slow.
attention. Yeah.
Yeah, but by the time, if you give it time, it's like with Torchwood. You give time, and then the third season, or the Orville. My favorite is the Orville. Orville is,
Okay.
Seth MacFarlane's Orville is what Star Trek could be. So the
Okay.
non-official Star Trek is the Orville. And I mean, come on, one of the main characters is the late Norm Macdonald, who is a blob and pushing the buttons. Come on, that's already funny. And they really deal with all these
Okay.
issues you mentioned, with racism and prejudice and human issues when you are just not a good person, but you still have to lead. I like this idea that somebody is challenging themselves. But yeah. Anyway, just speaking of movies, yeah, a lot of movies. And I don't want to be a naysayer. Just I love
Yeah.
I love being being under a good spell. How shall I say this in a nice way? So maybe it is a good actor, maybe it's a good storyline. So maybe, but something has to be there. For
Yeah.
example, it's really, really, really not my niche, but the movie Sweet November with Keanu Reeves back then, like 20 years ago, it's like a romantic movie, it's a sad romantic movie. Nothing is there, and still it gives the magic. Or the very out of the character What Dreams May Come, 1998, with Robin Williams, where all the characters are die in the first 20 minutes. So it's a very sad, depressing movie. Yet it gives something extra to your soul, because it is more like making peace with your fate. I disagree with the end of the movie, but it is just brilliant. So I like these kind of things. Of course, I am all in if you want to watch the new Silo series or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like, but anyway, it's just me, it's just me, and yeah. But there are movies I think I watched like 40 times.
Okay.
Yeah. So of course the
I've had a
Star
couple
Wars is
movies
one
where
of them.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and, yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, but it's yeah, but also books. So the
Well, speaking of
other day
books,
I bought yeah.
I have a question that I normally ask everybody at the very beginning of the show of who are you reading
Okay,
right now? So,
who
who are
am
you
I
reading right
reading?
now?
That's funny.
Yes.
Okay, just hold on a second. Hold on a second.
Okay.
So okay, so this is one. Okay, this is, I don't know, how can I see this? Hey, come on, focus here, focus here.
That's a little out of
Okay, so it's
focus.
it's okay, it's Lou Perez. Okay, it's Lou Perez's book. That joke isn't funny anymore.
That joke
Okay,
isn't funny anymore. Okay. I'm
so it's
I'm
Lou
liking the
Perez's
sounds of
book.
this one.
Yeah, I mean, I just had an interview with him the other 2 weeks ago. He's a very good guy, very well spoken, very generous, like a real man. This is a classic real man. And the
Okay.
other person who I am reading right now, well, of course, I have Kurt Vonnegut and Milan Kundera, but David Duchovny,
David Duchovny. Okay.
yeah, the actor,
Holy cow.
singer, model, holy cow!
Mm-hmm.
And yes, this is about a cow who is going around the world and looking around. So it's yeah, but these two,
All right. Wow.
yeah. But of course, I have more serious books too. But just I these are
Sure.
the two presents, and one, yeah, the one Kundera, and yeah, and I'm just getting ready for a new Vonnegut, what I want never read before. So, and
What are
yeah,
you getting out of that joke isn't funny anymore? What's the takeaway?
um, I think it is different for everybody. What I feel
Hmm.
it is that Lou Perez, who is a very good writer and a good actor, try to help himself out of the deconstruction of this socialist whatsoever, what somehow took over culture, and especially the herd mentality picked up this kind of uh, he doesn't speak about canceling. He's talking about more sophisticated about the small things, that you can't really be who you want to be, who you are, because you are not accepted if you are yourself. So you have to be a pretension of yourself. And people who struggle a lot to be themselves, the true values they can show, they are somehow, instead of becoming certain leaders or wise old people in the world, they are the outcast now. And how he battles, step by step to find meaning again, and the small funs there, because without jokes, without smiles, without the good laughters, the tears of fun, we are doomed. We are lost. So I think this is the whole book is a journey that a couple of years, and of course, the pandemic is mentioned in there. So, but I like that it's like it's like a conversation. This is the greatest thing in there. So it's not like a book, it's a conversation without being a pushy agendistic something. So yeah, I like it.
Nice. I like the sounds of that. Yeah, I like. Yeah, a lot of people are feeling kind of. It's almost like you're being oppressed by this idea of non-oppression. People are so right now into don't put don't put me down, don't put me in a box, but I'm going to put you in a box so that I can be free. It's like, no, everybody has to be free. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Otherwise, no one is.
Yes, but what you say, I think, requires a certain level of internal maturity, in internal growth, when I am secure. Right. But people mostly are insecure, and they don't like it. They're always in constant battle with themselves, this and that way. So there is a kind of fight, but because it's basically unbearable in the long run, they put it out to others. So they're fighting with others. So there is now a war, a spiritual war between somebody, and then it spreads all around. And yeah, you're right. But
hold on, sorry.
To be fair, I just think it is mostly about the education system. I don't think we should have education system as we have. I think we should have families, tribes. I'm not talking about tribalism. I'm talking about the villageism. When it was this old saying that it takes a few villages to raise a child, meaning have different inputs from the people all around. And when the children should have this emotional growth, and as the way as their body grows, in when the first 10, 12 years, they shouldn't be pushed down with too many things what can be taught like in 3 years later on, when the hormones kick in, in the teenagerhood. Basically now they are just broken. So you are forced to be in the education system, what I like calling the education system. Is like 16 years maybe. It depends, maybe you go to university. And by the time you go to university, you are, not you personally, of course, but people are so dumb that they sign a loan. They don't even read a fine print that they will be indebted for a bank forever. Doesn't mind how
Right.
Joe Biden pays from other taxpayers' money their debt, because that won't help them too much. So so it's, I think it goes back.
I'm there.
Emotional stability.
Yeah.
So
No, I'm there. I'm one of the ones who signed out the loan and for my education, and and
sorry,
yeah.
I didn't want. Let's quote a song. I didn't mean to hurt you.
Makes me sad.
Yeah. All right, but it's true. It is who can sign a good contract with a bank? Nobody, because they are cheating.
Right.
So that's also in that one. So if if you say, hey Neoborn, can you give me like $10 for this? Here's $10, and whenever you are okay, you give it back. This is how actually the greenbacks, Scandinavian banks, Muslim banks work. But because why? Because my success is if you are successful, the life will be better, and we can make more business together later on. But it's not this greedy pawn. Maybe it's about chaining people down. Maybe it's more a feudalistic idea that you had the promise, humanity, with the first, second, third, and fourth industrial revolution, that you are free. But what are you free for? You are free to consume more. And for that, we give you money, so you will pay us back more. Okay, now I haven't thought this through, just improvising. Sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me more about you and what you do, because you had a
Oh,
long
my God.
list of things that you do on your intake form. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wow, that's one
I
busy
try. I
guy.
try to be humble. I try to be humble there. Yeah, it's well, number one, I'm a parent. I'm a single dad. I've been that for a very long time, and I
Okay.
enjoy it. And this is the best ever I could have, being a dad of my kids. Despite everything what comes with it, being a single dad is not funny, but it's also the most gracious thing in life ever, and it teaches a lot about love, just like cats, foster cats. But that's number one. And also to like helping people when they want to open up and they can't find their way to a more celestial realm. That's number one. But also, yes, of course, I'm an artist. Yeah, so, and I don't like being called as a musician because just zillion of people can play guitar better than me. 200,000 people can attend on concerts more than me because I have now this kind of life now. But I like making music and I like performing. To be fair, I went to retirement a long time ago. Like it was a self-retirement. I said it was funny. It was before the streaming just kaboomed. It was before that. And I said, why there's no purpose. You saw people, and yes, maybe they were singing your songs. Maybe they came after the gig and they hugged you or whatever, half drunk. But the world hasn't changed so much. And what is the point? So yes, of course, entertain the people, but you should have a meaning. And I said, okay, there's no point. So I walked away. I erased myself from the internet and from everywhere as much as I could. And then I just started to write, compose, more like healing songs and more classical things. But just before this international wealth transfer, other people call it pandemic, happened, then I just got not the best news for my health, so and some things what I battled back then successfully, despite all the doctor's order. So they ordered, "Hey, you have 6 months." I said, "No, I have 20 years." So and I won. So and they had the diploma by that. So and then it made me think, and I said, "Okay, no matter what happens, I just, I wrote a song, 12 Ways of Love, for a Holy Song competition, and that." Then I wrote a whole album for it, and it was kind of self-healing too, So each song is from the disturbance when you realize that all the things what you were in, what you believed in, what were your own universe, what defined you, and you defined that was just based on a lie, or somebody's just maybe it wasn't a lie, or just somebody just left you because that person wasn't necessarily growing and you just try to do anything instead of that person, so and that killed me literally. And then with certain songs I in that album, the breakup therapy, that was the title of that album, I just worked myself out of that hell. And interestingly enough, some other people also found some of the songs healing, and they some of them they just reached me and told me, hey, they don't stream the song, they bought the song. It's like new thing. And so that's what I do. And I still keep writing music, of course, and sometimes even performing. And write. I write. I like writing. I've been doing that for, can we say, like close to 40 years now? Can we say that? So it's a lot. And I realized one thing, that maybe I am good, but few people can read it or understand it. And the reason why is that maybe the things that I write about should be broken down to smaller bits, So, for example, I wrote about inner healing, your inner child. I wrote about midlife crisis, So it's just too much. So let's put it, simple piece. So when I started my show, that was originally the Neoborn and the Human Show. Now it's changed to the Neoborn Caveman Show only. So I write a lot of things, and only one thing is working. This is why I appreciate the tone. But when I listened before we met, I listened a few of your shows. So what is working is the irony, sarcasm, a special viewpoint, and smaller bits, and the tweaks. And I think this is it. And that's my cat, if you can hear it. It's an old cat. And that's my cat is climbing on the top. Yeah, I can see it now.
Cat is on the. Yep.
So yeah, it's a high maintenance cat. He's really old now. Yeah. And so just that's what I do basically. These two things, and I used to teach, but these days I don't. So yeah.
And everything you do, you should be teaching someone something, because that's the best way to learn.
Oh yeah, actually you're right. Yeah. You know what? Last summer, my favorite activity was to punch up to Justin Trudeau in Canada. I tried everything to have that nation, and look at them. They voted just like the Brits. They just voted for what? The new Sharia law. So I call Canada now China. So I don't want to hurt anybody with that, but just
right.
Yeah,
I've got another guest who doesn't. Yeah. I've had quite a few guests from there, and I have one guest who refuses to ever go there again, but.
But every famous Canadian just left the country. Not Ryan Reynolds. Now everybody is going south. Yeah. Yeah, it's never against the people. It's against the regimes. It's against the broken-minded, soul-deprived, dare to say spineless entities who have a kind of demonic being possessed by demons, and they recreate the communism all around. Oh, in the name of socialism, it is not that. And if you check the history, it's tiptoeing into that one. The same stories are working. So you mentioned that earlier about freedom, and what you started the original one. It was, we all wanted to live in the 24th century when you watch Star Trek, because that's peace. People got rid of the internal issues and more like welcoming and embracing things, and technology helps them. But I don't know, it's just I don't want to go through in that period when constant wars are coming, just to reach that. So anyway, but so
back to Star Trek. Yes.
Yeah, sorry?
You have a book? You have a new book?
Yeah, a new book is coming out. But just before that, because more important, I've been in a debate, and I want to confirm once again, the series Picard is a good series, especially the third season.
I've enjoyed it.
Have you seen that?
Yeah, I've seen it. Well, I've seen up to the third season. So I haven't seen season 4 yet.
Third season is like a new series. Third season is like a standalone whatever. Third season.
Yeah.
But I disagree with many things. But come on, the idea, they have a good storyline there, and I just I
Yeah.
like that. And
Yeah. The stories are
I
great.
really encourage you to watch the third season. I mean, that's a whole next level.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Um,
it's like that.
the third season, that was the one where they went back in time, right?
That was
Trying
the
to keep my timeline straight.
second.
That was the second season? Oh, then I haven't seen the third season yet.
Third season is with the well. Then how shall I say it when? Okay, Jonathan Frakes is back.
Jonathan Frakes is back. Okay. So yeah,
Yeah.
I
So
haven't seen, then I haven't seen the third season yet. I thought I'd seen, okay.
yeah.
Shows you where
So
my
I
mind's
just don't
at.
want to spoil. Okay, so they shifted the cast a little bit around, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah.
But yeah,
And speaking of
I've
the book,
always liked, Patrick Stewart. Um, he's just great.
he is.
So
He is.
yeah.
In the TNG, I couldn't bear. For me, it was like, yeah, just give me some Arnold Schwarzenegger action here, not just like this, talking heads, talking heads, talking. But these
Mm-hmm.
days, when every season, okay, just let's have a closed caption, yeah, but with an untalented actor, so
Yeah.
it's like, and then that's the Star Trek episode. I mean, really, and whispering, always whispering, you know. And yeah, so just now I have a different respect towards a Shakespearean actor.
I
Yeah,
myself have been a Shakespearean actor. Uh,
Oh, please
I actually
tell
did
me
a
more.
yeah, back in the '90s. I actually thought I was going to be an actor, and at school we performed the Merry Wives of Windsor out in Hollywood, and on a
Okay.
real stage in front of a real audience. Yeah, I was Master
Oh.
Ford, Gentleman of Windsor. Yeah, it was so much fun.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
mean,
but turned
do
out I
you have it
wasn't going
on
to be a
tape?
professional. It is, but
Do
I
you?
don't. It is on tape, but I don't have
Oh,
it. Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
rumor says everything is on the internet except the hard copies. So
yeah, yeah.
hard
That's
copies are
true.
good.
It's possible
But
somebody's put it online.
yeah, well, yeah, I realized this that some people don't respect the thing. Hey, don't never put down. Yeah, it's there. So yeah, but maybe with the age, I'm just think of that. More and more people who are like late Gen X, or maybe they stop their, I don't know, boring job, and they start to do their childhood dream, like becoming a first time musician at the age of 50s, or having the new album at the age of 60, 64. But others already finishing their career there, but they raised children, and they continue. But he just BBC wrote a few guys. They were coming out like that. Maybe not that bad music, So maybe this is it. So maybe you will be again on the stage soon. That's what I'm trying to
Maybe,
say positively. That age means nothing.
maybe.
And
Yeah. Well,
no AI. Yeah.
one of the things I'm doing that I had, dreamt of doing when I was a kid was writing. I'm actually writing a series of books on leadership right now.
Oh, yeah, I
So
was meaning to ask it before our recording, but you said no questions before the recording. So, yeah. So, because I read on LinkedIn that you have these leadership courses, or you're
Mhm.
helping people how to be real leaders, how to take responsibility, how to have the guts with the right
Yeah,
Bower syndrome. So,
yeah, yeah. I stumbled on a style of leadership that I'm calling ethical leadership. That's based on
okay.
nine actionable behaviors, and I'm writing a series of books on how to make that happen. And it's all about
Hmm.
bringing the team together under the leader instead of making the leader an island. And pardon me. And yeah, and it's really, it's
It's
gotten me
interesting.
excited about leadership, about coaching again.
It's interesting because my personal experiences in my entrepreneurships is that verbally you have a big support, but basically you are standing alone in the front line always, and the wind is whistling next to your shoulder. Or when you take a team, let's say you go on a hike, literally, and you hear the gossip from behind you, so it's like there are the
Yeah.
naysayers, and I love when Arnold Schwarzenegger says that never listen to the naysayers, and I have my subtitle, yes, never listen to the naysayers, especially if that sound is coming from you. So it's like that's my leadership advice.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I never could make a good team. That's interesting, because it's not because I am want to concentrate all the power. I want, to delegate. I want equals, because I know that I lack of things what breaks my soul to do, like like basic administration or whatever. Because I don't hate that, because it's not creative or whatever. So I want to delegate to reliable people. But once maybe the problem is that that person is not qualified. The other time the problem is that person may be qualified but not reliable, and also I want a team, a family, a friendship. It's like, it's fast and furious all together, forever.
Yeah.
And this is never happening. This is never happening because I don't want the team when, like say, the incentive is the finances. That's a necessary thing. But how can we base our mutual trust on an ever-changing object or idea like money?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
It's
too philosophical. I know.
there are a lot of facets to it. I mean, one thing a friend of mine once called it hiring hard, and to get started the right way. And I've
Mm.
always found it pretty easy to find the right person for the position. Um, I don't know if it's just if you want to call it luck or divine providence or whatever, but yeah, it's just I've always found, except for one time when I accidentally found somebody who was psychotic. Um, yeah. Um, but but yeah, but I've got a great team right now working on the podcast. Of course, they're all family, so that's a little different.
Good.
But yeah, my first teams when I was working on the Tournament of Roses parade for Cal Poly's uh, entries. I had great teams for that, and we got awards and put out a great couple of floats, and yeah, it was a great experience. But
Mm.
yeah, I can see it being difficult to sometimes it does the team is way back behind you, and yeah, the
Yeah.
whistling of the wind, um, but I don't think it has to be that way. I think it. I think we can certainly put together teams of people who are supportive and put together. And
Maybe I should have a bigger net to cast, I guess. So maybe that's the saying. But yeah, but I am more intrigued in the human soul and heart, and I want real people, who
yeah,
always uh, strive to be better version of themselves. And for me, that is important more than, oh yeah, I can be a better paper pusher, or whatever like this. So it's and
yeah,
so but yeah, I have a small company with a small publishing company with my cousin, and she's absolutely inexperienced, but she has the willingness, and
right,
we have mutual trust, and that's the whole point, mutual trust. And yeah, of course, we can question each other's decision, sometimes louder, but it's working because we accept that, hey, I could do what you do, but I am not good at. For example, that's but that's where I am. So I so my experience is. I had a painter friend long time ago, and he was older, and he told me that after a while, when you hit 40 or older, you realize that the true existential level of a human is being alone. And I was always struggling with this because I said, no, there's no way, I we have to be connected because we can't exist without that. But sometimes I feel these days that maybe he was right.
There are moments. There
So
are moments, but I have to agree with you that I think we were made to be together. That we were supposed to be connected with other human beings. Yeah, but yeah,
yeah,
sometimes it does
speaking of
feel
that,
we do feel
I
very
really
alone.
wanted to ask you. So, but speaking of this thing and leadership and how to choose the best people, I really wanted to ask you. I know it's strange because I am your guest, but because you are a leadership coach, I wanted to ask you that now the new president of the planet is being elected in November. Yeah. So it's only in America. Let's be honest. The American president is the quasi president of the world. Like it or not, that's it. That's it. It's still it's de facto true. But uh, when I read or talk to people about this, I'm not saying I'm a fan of either of them, or or even Bobby Kennedy, or whatever. It's just, and you see that maybe these are not the worst people in any administration, but the people around them and behind them and under them. And I'm not even talking about the cabal pulling the strings. It's a very common concept, might be even true. But how can we select better leaders? How can we choose a better administration? How can we have a safer and happier planet for ourselves? Because it can't be that simple, because history proved it is not working, selecting, okay, Trump or Biden or whatever. It is not working. How can we do that? My only conclusion was in locally saying that, hey, you have crime in the neighborhood and police don't do anything, or the DA, well, have a very effective, neighborhood watch and do the thing what you have to do, like Batman. So that's my own idea. But what, how can we be okay with this? So how can we have better other people? Because no Donald Trump or Joe Biden is better than you or I. They have the same people. They all shitted the same pants what we had. So, they were all whining after the afternoon snack in the kindergarten. Hey, I want more ice cream or whatever. So how can we have better word around this?
That's a tough one. Um, it's like I know how to pick better followers, but better leaders. No, I think we need to go back to the foundations, the fundamentals of good leadership, and look at those things and see if is the person we're choosing a person who has those leadership qualities. Are they do they practice good leadership? Do they have an aspect of humility? Do they have an aspect of where their discipline is controlled? It's not outright punishment. Do they how do they treat their followers? How do they treat their people? Because that's how they're going to treat everybody. If you treat the people who are closest to you like crap, then obviously the other people are going to get treated like crap too. Um, you know, so
Hmm.
we have
But
to
there is a
we have to go
distortion
back
about
to
that, not?
Hmm?
But there is a distortion. I mean, when we perceive something, might be not the truth, because
Hmm.
where a lot of people are saying that, hey, I work with Trump, he's a good person. Media portrays
Right.
he's a shitty person, you know. Other way
Yeah.
around with Biden, yeah, of course. Everybody, it's not better or worse. I'm just saying, but how can we say that? All right, that person understands the very idea of America, the foundation of the social idea that, hey, let's have that people have more control, and now we have again leaders instead of fellow people who help us to exist on planet. So,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
that was a sad part, but thank you for
That's
your
a
thing.
deep
I never
question.
thought of that, so we should really look at their work. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Just
So next
yeah.
on
I
the
mean,
line is, yeah,
look at their work. Look at what they've done, and see. I mean, that's one thing that's got me that keeps me held that holds me back from fully endorsing Trump is the way he's treated people who've worked for him in the past. I mean, there are people who he hasn't paid. Um, that people who did work
yeah,
for him and he never
is,
paid them. you know, and
but
that
is he
bothers me.
worse than any other?
Right. I
Yeah,
mean,
but
now we're
yeah,
to the point
I
where we
hear
have
you.
to
I
pick
hear you. And
the yeah, we have to pick
but it's just
the lesser
it's,
of two evils.
can we judge somebody based on actions a couple of decades ago? Let's say that, or can we give another chance for somebody that this time he or she will do better?
Yeah.
That's
I mean, I
that's
don't think
that's
we have
this is the
much of a
question
choice,
too. And
but yeah.
well, yeah, the lesser bad. Yeah, that when you choose the lesser bad is basically not a good choice.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is
So,
just, but but
but
but in America,
yeah,
I
I think
mean,
it's too
basically,
late.
it shouldn't be about the president either. It should be about a better Congress, a better Senate.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, we have. Yeah, our Congress has some big problems. Yeah, we definitely
Oh yeah,
shouldn't make light of that.
and then but
Uh,
not as bad as in the UK. Yeah. Okay. Um,
so
let's go to brighter places because everybody's okay now. Bill and Neoborn, why next time how the Civil War will no, it's like no.
yeah,
Yeah, I think
yeah.
actually this is funny because everybody's waiting for the Civil War happening. It's already happening because the
Mm,
war first is always a mental war, a spiritual war. The last part of that when you have the weapons, the
yeah.
division, the fights, the streets. I mean, you look the Elon Musk's X, which is still funny to call. Hey, what are you doing? I was on Elon Musk's X. I mean, that sounds a little bit funny. And
Yeah.
what did you? I tweeted on his X. Terrible. Anyway, and you see what's happening behind what the mainstream media will never show you. What happens in the neighborhood, And after a while, you feel like either I am in an AI deep fake hole, or this is reality, and I want to live that reality. But I tell you this: I traveled to the States. I taught here. I lived there. I met a lot of good people. And I have never, ever in my life, not in Harlem, not in the worst parts of wherever, not in Los Angeles, never daytime, nighttime, never had any conflict with anyone, never saw any crime, and only good people, doesn't mind what kind of skin color they had. So that is my personal experiences based on more than a few decades. And believe me, I wasn't driving a limo, going on the high, I don't know. So just and this is a kind of contradiction what I can't wrap my mind around because I don't think life is as bad as it is portrayed.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. Um, yeah, life is not as bad as some people put it. Um, there are definitely some people in bad spots, but yeah, life in general is not, especially in the U.S., is not as bad as people want to say.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And still, it's the dream of the whole world. So instead of
Yeah,
we migrate I don't know, Chinese and Venezuelans and whatever to America. America should, the ideology of the founding fathers should spread for the rest of the world. To experiment, hey, let's balance it out. Let's balance it out. So instead of feudalistic, never question the king ideas, let's have, all right, so I don't care who you are, do the job for me. You are not the, I pay you to deal with the potholes in the road. I pay you to fix the kindergartens. And that's it. That's basically, we need a money distributor system with maybe a little touch of, helping people out. And that's it.
Yeah.
I don't think we would need, I mean, I think this is it. A successful leader shouldn't be known. He should be experienced. Oh, but yeah, I understand that these days people want all the. Remember a movie again. Remember that Schwarzenegger movie, an old one, when the Runaway Man.
Oh yeah.
And what happened there? What was the background story? And basically, this is happening these days.
Sorry, I'm writing down what you said. Sorry, I wanted to make sure I remember that.
Yeah. So, let me introduce my old one. Sorry, this is he is my beauty. He's my best friend. But I'm not a cat
who's
lady.
Been making all that racket. He just wanted to get on the show.
Because
he just wanted to get on the show.
Absolutely. And sometimes he's right. Sometimes he's pretty much right. Hey, get up! I don't want. And a second later, the alarm clock says get up. So he's right. Yeah, but he wants to take it up. It's like that.
Well,
so
the Running Man.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So did you like it? I mean,
I
did you
only
like it?
Vaguely remember it. It's been so long since I've seen it.
And you know why? Because it's nowhere. You can't find it. It's nowhere.
Okay.
It's because it's like erased from the things. You can't stream it. You can't buy a copy. Nothing.
Wow.
And maybe because they are close to the truth.
Maybe.
It's of course it's an action-packed movie, but the background story was that how the media controls the narrative, and if you are going against, then the censorship industrial complex has enough power to destroy you and take you off the board.
Okay.
So, and today we have this term. So
yeah,
of course it's very spectacular when he's fighting off with all these monsters, but yeah, I mean maybe that was the prequel of the documentary Mike Judge made called Idiocracy.
Yes. But you can stream that.
Yeah.
That you can stream.
Yeah.
But
that's why you can.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why you can.
Well, we're gonna have to put out the call for somebody to start streaming. Yes. Yes, the first 5 minutes are it's disturbingly true. Oh goodness gracious!
But it's funny. It's so ridiculous and so true that I don't know how he did. I know that he hated the movie because Fox was sponsoring it and they were not really keen on and everything. And I think they tried to fail the achievement just like they did with Firefly. Because if you remember the few episodes of Firefly ever made, that was also very true and close to what was happening. Of course, space, far away, but you understand.
Yeah. Yep. If you make it in space and far away, then you can say just about anything.
Yeah. So. But yeah. So, but we haven't found a good movie, a good science fiction about a positive corner of the universe. The White Vader, not the Dark Vader, the White Vader, or whatever. Everything is funny and good and true. It's always about the bad things, and always what the bad things happen because the good people intentionally don't take responsibility. So the evil can, I don't know, prosper forever. And yeah, but it's like Meaning, you asked me about the books, and I was hesitating. I like these books, to be fair. But before these, I bought now a few, but for a very long time, I intentionally stopped reading literature. I read because I have to for my work and so on, but stopped. And I tell you why. Because it's like trust and relying. And books, or these so-called books, they betrayed me. Meaning, I would rather go back to Ray Bradbury, Stanislav Lem, or Asimov and read it again, if we are talking about science fiction, um, than than try again once more another book, because this is just like, it's bad. It's like somebody who is just not enough ready to put it's like the 80,000 song daily to Spotify, which cannot qualify as songs because they're just utter garbage. It's like the low quality, and it goes out and pushed in your face, and it's after a while you don't want to read more because it's a betrayal. So if I trust my soul on 100 but 300,000 pages of a book, then I want something, not just a cliffhanger for 400 pages.
Yep.
You know this.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
But speaking of cliffhangers, it is about that time to leave them wanting more. And so before we wear ourselves out before we wear ourselves too thin, uh, I'll ask you: do you have any final words for the nice people?
My final words are: I will leave my empire. No, this. Yeah, I just let me try again the plug for the book. So it's coming out about the narcissistic people. So maybe June or late June it will be out. So I'm still fighting with
And what's the
because
name
it
of the
was
book
2
again?
years research.
What's
Well,
the name of
I
the
am
book again?
struggling with that a little bit.
Uh-oh.
I'm struggling with the title too, because in the last 4 months I said no, it's too much, too dark, too deep. The NPDs, the narcissistic personality disorder people, took over the world, and I went like 18 months, more than 18 months research with that, and everything pointed said, oh my God, it's too dark, my soul is breaking up, I can't put this out. So I held it back, I rewrote it again, and I tried to make it out a little bit easier. So I'm not sure about, but maybe the title recently is NPD. It's another alphabet agency in America, NPD, CIA. So they are really uh, murdering the human soul. And actually, I am halfway done with another one, which is the human origin story. You might remember Gilgamesh. The Gilgamesh
Yes.
story. But now this will be
Yes.
from the eye of a space alien who travels through space, but his spaceship is broken, and he goes for gold to Earth to mine it out to fix the spare parts. And in the meantime, he looks around how the Gilgamesh story is unfolding. So that's a little bit more history slash science fiction ish.
Right.
So that's halfway done. So these two are coming out. And of course, the Neoborn Caveman show is there almost every day, or not. It depends. So it depends on my mood. So it's like that. So these are the plugs, and these are the final words. So, but if I want to say one thing is like, it goes to you, Bill, and it go directly. Okay, you are great. You are amazing. You are one of a kind.
Well,
So
thank you so much
the
for
final
being on the show. It's been a pleasure. It's really been interesting, and I hope people think the same. And we'll get your plug out on the book. And I'd like to tell all the nice people to be safe out there. Remember to wash your hands and stay tuned for the ending credits.
Thank you all for tuning in. This has been a presentation of Bald Spots Productions.
I'd like to thank our producer, my beloved mother, Eileen Hatch.
I'd especially like to thank our associate producer, Paul Hernandez III, for his contribution to the shows this month. Follow his financial channel, HDZ Financial, on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram to stay on top of the latest financial news and improve your financial literacy. I, of course, am your humble host. I'd also like to thank my special guest, Neoborn Caveman. Support the show if you feel so led over on patreon.com. We're known as Bald Spots Pro. Don't you dare miss YWL Online. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, and wherever fine podcasts are offered. Be sure to tune in next time when my special guest will be Tom Rule, who says he is living proof God has a sense of humor. Tom's also a musician and the anti-blogger. Be sure to like, comment, and share. Subscribe, follow, whatever it is you've got to do to kick that algorithm into gear and help us reach more people. If you or someone you know needs support now, call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org. That is the suicide and crisis lifeline here in the United States.